Hello there, Texas Deacon here. Thank you for joining me. As you can see, I'm not in a deacon's den. In fact, I'm not even in Texas. I am in Louisiana. I'm sitting on the steps of a house my great-great-grandfather built in 1848, 1849. Every time I'm even close, I come by and visit the old place. And it might interest a few people, so I will show it to you in this video. I'm now standing on the front porch of my great-grandfather's house, and this gives you a view of some of the original work in it. The house has been restored, and it does have new wood in it, mostly around back. Here's one of the original benches, we think. This house was built in the dog trot style, which was very common in the bygone times. What it did, it allowed you to build your house a half at a time. You built one half, then you'd build the other half, and you tied together with a porch and a roof, and you had a place to sleep. That's in days before air conditioning. If you notice, this house was put together without the use of very many nails at all. Hard to find any, and they were added later. Nails were a real premium back in those days, so you just notched your wood and made it work. That is notched in up here. If you go to the other side, it's notched in up here too. I find that very interesting. Also, too, looking down these boards, they look straight, just like they've been installed, cut with an axe. I'm standing in the hallway now between the two halves. Now, this is the stairway that leads up. They got it blocked right now to keep people out of the attic. But the attic was also used as rooms for sleeping, I'm told, primarily. And they just don't want people up there now. This is actually a state museum at this time. And let's get a view of the wide doors. This has been totally rebuilt, but the next one down is almost all original. This is the same width. Okay, this is a view of the front of the house. As you can see, there's a road right in front, which was a common practice in bygone times. You always built your house right on the road, because down that road came everything you had to have. Any information of what was going on in the world, any goods had to come down that road. So you wanted close access to the road. And of course, there's a historical marker in front. This is viewed from one end of the house. Now, of course, this particular chimney is made out of modern brick, so we know it was added later. And I mentioned earlier, people would sleep upstairs. We believe that's just an escape hole in case there was a fire. We're now at the opposite end of the house, and I want to show you the other chimney. We believe this chimney may have been actually built when the house was built. It's just built out of local rock, which was standard procedure. You always built your homes out of whatever materials were available. I'm going to get a closer shot up here, if I can hold the camera and walk. This was original, and you can see it's starting to give way a little bit here. And it is also sitting on the same rock that the chimney is constructed. I'm behind the house at this point. This area is blocked off because it is the family cemetery and only a few graves are marked. How many people are buried here, there really is no record really. 7 or 8 tombstones or partial tombstones still exist. This right here is a tombstone of my great-great-grandfather, born in 1802, lived 82 years, died in 84. These may be his wives, if I remember correctly. And there was a tombstone here at one time. Couple back here, and then one laying way over there. I guess a tree. I guess I just don't know where it goes. Probably that stone sitting up right there was used to mark a grave also. This is the back of the house, and as I pointed out earlier, when they restored it, they had to replace some of the materials. There was a nearby house that was in total disrepair, could not have been restored, built in the same time period a few years later, and they offered to give them the wood out of it to make this one more authentic. But regulations said no, so they had to use new wood in the back. And again, political correctness installed a wheelchair ramp. We got to be politically correct, you know. And can you see the deacon that's up there in the shadow to the right in the doorway? And there is the deaconess with some material she's been reading about the house. She's been here a number of times over the years. Every time I've come, she's been with me. And we can get a view of the old metal roof. Sorry about shaking the camera too much. Thank you for joining me on a little trip through my ancestry. May God continue to bless and forgive the United States of America. May God continue to bless Republic of Texas. And I suppose it's proper to say here, may God continue to bless Louisiana, and may God continue to bless you and yours.